You know the rest. Come chat with DP. Call me Damian Phillips. Yeah. So if you see your girl's phone and it's my name DP, don't feel no way, or just the habit. Politics, politricks, it doesn't matter, me I go talk. Bringing light to the lost so you will get it. DP is my name, please don't spoil it. Big up Portland, St. Thomas, Jamaica and America. Come listen my show. On the corner me I bring, come chat, voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. Yeah, views expressed, you know the rest. Come chat with DP, call me Damian Phillips. Yeah. Come listen my show. On the corner me I bring, come chat, voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. VP is my name, please don't spoil it. Big up Portland, St. Thomas, Jamaica and America. Come listen my show. On the corner me I bring, come chat, voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. Just know it's a general knowledge. Views expressed, you know the rest. Come chat with DP, call me Damian Phillips. Whoa, ooh yeah, Phillips. Call me Damian Phillips. Yeah. Yeah, DP stands for Damian Phillips. All who never knew get with it. So if you see your girl's phone and it's my name DP, don't feel no way, adjust the habit. DP stands for Damian Phillips. All who never knew get with it. So if you see a girl's phone and it's my name DP, don't feel no way, adjust the habit. Politics, politricks, it doesn't matter, me I go talk. Bringing light to the lost so you will get it. DP is my name, please don't spoil it. Big up Portland, St. Thomas, Jamaica and America. Come listen my show. On the corner me I bring, come chat, voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. Views expressed, you know the rest. Come chat with DP, call me Damian Phillips. Yeah. So if you see your girl's phone and it's my name DP, don't feel no way, adjust the habit. Politics, politricks, it doesn't matter, me I go talk. Bringing light to the lost so you will get it. DP is my name, please don't spoil it. Big up Portland, St. Thomas, Jamaica and America. Come listen my show. On the corner me I bring, come chat, voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. Yeah, views expressed, you know the rest. Come chat with DP, call me Damian Phillips. Yeah, come listen my show. On the economy I bring, come chat, voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. It's a general knowledge. Let me say good evening and thanks for joining me. My name is Damian Phillips. They call me DP, and it is another Monday evening, and we're here 7 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock. If you happen to be in Eastern Standard Time, which now is merged with what Jamaica time. So yeah, a lot to discuss, a lot to talk about. Some I may go over, but we already flushed them out on TikTok, my new phone home. But we're live on TikTok. We're live on my YouTube channel. We're also live on my radio home, which is Vibes Corner Radio. Behind me, you see there, VCR Radio out of Connecticut. So yeah, every Monday night, place to be is right here. If you have not yet, start following me on my YouTube channel. It's DP Live. Just search for that. I'm still trying to get to 2,000 subscribers, so I indulge you. I'm begging you, please. I think I'm at 1,900 and 3 or something like that. I don't remember. But please, 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 please. And for those of you, it's heart-rending. I see the reports from YouTube saying, listen, more than 90% of your viewers are not your subscribers. So just imagine if you guys that actually view my content, just subscribe. Just hit that subscribe bar. And I used to say not the notification note. It helps. I want you guys to hit also the notification bar. But from a TikTok people, big up on yourself. You guys had me on live two consecutive mornings, two two 2:30 I went to my bed Saturday morning, knowing that I had to get up to go to the people in slavery 6:30, and then I was on Saturday night experimenting with what I used to do before I start talking politics. Just talk about life, human beings and all of that, and it was a blast. So those of you on, I think I do. I think I want to stick to TikTok with that content, and not bringing it to YouTube. So for my YouTube viewers and my radio audience, please go and follow me on TikTok. Just look for DP. I think it's DP Live. I want my angle. I don't remember. But yeah, so again, welcome. So um we're gonna touch the Silvera matter because the last time I spoke about this on YouTube was last week, Monday. And of course there's been some development where the accused is now a confessed killer, and the PMP won't like me to say that, but it is what it is. And the only thing my beg a taps and roses and like and subscription. So yeah, apart from that, I don't ask nobody to help me pay my mortgage or my car note or my internet bill or none of them something there. So I'm free for talk with more and tax. Um what else I want to talk about? So a bunch of things happening. Let's start with a positive. So in spite we had 18 on unaliving last week, we're still experiencing a 40% reduction in unaliving. I have to use the TikTok words people say. If you don't know what that mean, ask somebody who's on TikTok. They'll be able to share with you. I have the ability to add people to my live on TikTok, and then those of you on YouTube, you'll hear vice versa. Remember that there is a space. I have a chat room on YouTube that you can comment. I'll read your comments there. And yeah, so 40% reduction, that is good. So there's a big issue now, re-procurement, right? And I have some clips from RGR. I'm going to play some of that where Dion Jackson Miller this evening was talking to Danville Walker. Katabi, good evening. Katabi, let's say Katabi. And I'm going to share some of that with you. And he said something that is profound for me. We need to move away from this thing where, despite
and it's the PMP that love to say this. Oh, politician corrupt, and there's this perception that politicians are thieves. I've heard people say, "Oh, me know MP where them did poor before them going to politics. I know them rich." And every time I ask them to call names, they do exactly what Colin was doing a while ago on my live. I did a little test run, and it's to just start spin the argument. When PMP say politician are thieves and they're corrupt and all of these things, you're basically lumping yourself in that category. That's what you're doing. So you're trying to make it sound like, no man, when you say politician, it's because they don't want to say JLP. But people who don't follow the politics, when they hear politician, you think that absorb you? No, it doesn't. So on the need for stop it. So Danville Walker was saying, listen, I know everybody a thief. So what we need to do is, and it's interesting because I hear the same PMP saying that they agree or they're in agreement with Justice Sykes, Brian Sykes, saying let the court, let the justice, let them get to spend them on money. You know, allocate money to them and make them spend them money because the government processes this and that and all of that, and them say them agree. So when the minister went forward and did something that we needed, no, they're bashing. And I see somebody post and say Andrew's a prophet, because Andrew did say the same people them, and I'm going to use Starlink, who was demanding Starlink. No, when the report run, they must say, yeah man, see that we know say them a thief long time. You know, you demanding days after the hurricane that you need Starlink. And Colin Bell say, which is Shaka fame, him believes that every MP and every councillor forget a Starlink. And this was days after Melissa. But now they're saying, hold on, something not go right. But I remember sharing this with a new MP, and I'm going to start off with that clip this evening. So again, we know, and I've been saying this for a while, PMP is at liberty to do anything that the PMP want to do. But if anybody else do it, even those who are in government, it is a problem. So let's go over there and hear from this young lady. Yeah, let's get this.
Available to members of parliament in the affected constituencies. I'm calling on the government to include the members of parliament, to engage with us, and very importantly, to empower us to help the people who are depending on us because they don't have the numbers for the government ministers, they have the numbers for their members of parliament, and they're reaching out and begging and crying out for help. And as a member of parliament, I have reached out to the government for assistance in getting persons who are marooned access so that they can actually leave their communities or enter elsewhere. I have been told by the government that as a member of parliament, I cannot engage with private contractors to have their roads cleared or to have their roads put in a place where they can leave or enter their community. And so I have been faced with a difficult decision where I have to choose whether I obey the rules as they currently stand, in which case it means that residents will be left stranded and trapped and unable to leave, even in cases of emergency. People will not be able to have access to food, water. Or I make the other difficult decision, which is to go against the government's dictates and actually engage contractors to put together the roadway as best as possible so that access can be had. I have chosen the latter. And so I hope and I pray that the government will actually make some allocation available to members of parliament in the affected constituencies. I'm calling on the government to include the members of parliament, to engage with us, and very importantly, to empower us to help the people who are depending on us because they don't have the numbers for the government ministers, they have the numbers for their members of parliament, and they're reaching out and begging and crying out for help. And as a member of parliament, I have reached out to the government for assistance.
Several times, as a member of parliament, she said it. She had to go against the rules. So in other words, this young MP straight up in their press confusions, because PMP don't have press conference, they have press confusion, stated that, listen, I had to go against the emergency procurement. And as Andrew Ole said, yeah, me know the same one them were defending and demanding, not defending, demanding that they get Starlink. Days after, now saying, hold on, something all right. So let's play, see if I can get a couple of the clips from Diane show talking about some of this procurement issue. If you're new, please follow, like, subscribe.
Agencies, and you determine how you're going to address things, and there you have choices. But many times people love the glory too. So I think that what you have to have is a system that works. And aims are achievable, you know. They're achievable. So you can have systems today that are transparent and efficient.
Well, a couple of things arise out of that. One, is it, though, your assessment that the problem is the system per se in terms of the rules that have been set up, or is it how they're implemented? In other words, is it that at a desk, for instance, where you need 10 people, you have one? So nothing to move. Which of them?
No, so it depends what area. You see, there's procurement and then there's red tape.
Right.
Right? So let's talk about procurement a bit. So you come up with I remember you had this system where you have to be on this list, and you had these levels that you had to be as a firm, right? Remember that? And then if it still happens anymore, I don't know. But you had this public procurement thing, and you had to show that you can build road at what level road, you have to be a type A thing and that. No. But if you're foreign, you don't have to do anything like that. Foreign contractors just simply can't come in and get any job in their country. So I used to always say, boy, it's easier to get a contract in Jamaica as a foreign company it is to get a, if you're a local person. That's a fact, right? You don't have the hoops to jump through. Then, I think that we are bred to believe that all of we are thief. Vex. We are bred to believe, and I think this is coming from the colonial days, that all the way who work in the public sector are able to teach something, right? And the majority of the public servants who work in Jamaica, that's their game, right? Here in Jamaica, is all of us here. We try to underbid all these games we play to win the contract. And when you win the contract, now you figure out how you're going to build it, and you fight this variation fight that, the scope wasn't correct and you've increased the scope. They call them variations in contracts. And that becomes a game here to fight the way up through the variations, and you have engineers estimate, a contractors estimate, and the question is who know it before. You have a handful of quantity surveyors that filling out all of the different bids going in, and they kind of, in a way, decide who get these contracts, Like that, all those things, transparency will help you with, but will help you with, but I think that what we need to look at, and it's not beyond us, is to say to the people who devise these policies, and these are the A students I'm in school, let them know who write a one bag of words for things that need more simplicity, that you can and set out what the goals are. In almost every agency that you have bureaucracy in that is stifling us, whether it's at the NEPA or parish councils, you have to have performance indicators that if you don't make them, you're going to be fired.
Hold that thought for me. Let me just go to the break. We're talking.
So if you're just joining me, let me say good evening. I'm looking at this whole procurement issue, and I see PMP has got something to run with, because when they hear unaccounted for, to them mean teeth.
You on Beyond the Headlines, I'm Dion Jax Miller. We're talking this week about public procurement, getting different perspectives on the system, what's wrong with it, what's right with it, what needs to be changed, if anything. And we're talking to Danville Walker, former Director of Elections and Commissioner of Customs. Just before I come back to him, just a couple of things. We heard a couple of weeks ago the head of the Public Procurement Commission, Nadia Morris, said that the commission is committed to simplifying the procurement process and reducing lengthy wait times. She said speed and accuracy in processing procurement submissions are top of her agenda. We also had, this was about a year and a half ago, the Observer was also talking about reform of public procurement, saying it needs to be balanced, saying no one can challenge the point of the policy, but there needs to be balance in doing it. And we've seen Prime Minister Andrew Holness just... Let's listen to a bit of what he had to say.
So it doesn't matter if there was a hurricane and people had to procure telecommunications and other critical things to make sure that we can get the people who are stranded. That is not a matter for the public bureaucracy. That is of no moment, no concern. So we need the bureaucracy to be sensitive to outcomes and context. We must reform the bureaucracy.
Okay, and the Prime Minister... Okay, the Prime Minister also said a lot of the rules and the laws that are now delaying projects had been adopted from other countries as conditions for doing business or getting grant money.
A similar project was done, financed in Belize from the same UK infrastructure fund, which was to build a coastal highway. That was for 23 or 24 million pounds. This entire project was for 53 million pounds. But they completed theirs in 2023, and it started about the same time or probably after.
Okay, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, and let's go back now to Danville Walker. So you are starting to say what you think needs to be done, which is what?
I don't, the young person or the lady who is in charge of the public procurement committee, you get all of that. My thing is this. You have centralized this whole process. The entire government come down to one like a procurement unit. The entire budget in Jamaica must flow through this apex, and that's nonsense. You have 19 ministries. Empower them to run the money in the ministries. Right? Stop thinking you have 19 teeth in permanent secretary. Stop thinking that way, because that's what you're doing. And you decentralize it and empower them and put in place, give them the tools to carry out the policies and the decisions of cabinet. You know, that is all we need to do. But what we're doing is we're going the wrong way. We're going the wrong way. Turn around and come back, right? And empower the permanent secretaries. And I know a lot of people don't like when I say this type of stuff, you know, but you see when they were white and come from foreign, it never runs up, right? And what we need to do is to empower our own people so we can uplift our own people, right? That's what we need to do. And stop thinking the way you are taught to think, that if we put it all in one little room and everything comes through here, that what the Prime Minister just said to you, you know, is that it is more important that those rules are followed and people in St. Elizabeth get light, that people in Westman get back, them water. That is more important. No, man, you're wrong.
Except though,
It sound like you got Costa Clat a while ago, you know.
if there is what should I say? If the attitude that's taken is okay, you know, people need light, people need water, people need so and of course they do. But that the whole point is we do have a history of corruption. We do have a history of thieving. In projects and implementation. So the rules have been put in place to try to prevent that.
We cannot be enslaved by the past. Okay? What we must do, and we have far more.
I don't know why my computer over here, my Mac keep on activating. But you guys get the gist of what Danville Walker was saying, and I agree with him. Because even what he said, the Prime Minister said, yes, we have to follow the rules and all of this. When there is a need, it's after an emergency. What is more important? So there was a need. We all know that our telecommunication system network depends on JPS for electricity, right? We know that. And you have some people who may not know this, that Digicel actually depends on Flow, because Flow have like the backbone for the network to work, right? So the only thing for days and weeks that was working would have been the Starlink. So Danville says something, and I didn't get to capture that part, where he was saying that these people, these bright people, my words, not his, who they're doing stuff, because it's not the Auditor General that is the one that, even with the UE thing the other day, go up at UE, go take nothing, you know. And he's saying she should be smart enough to know that, all right, when your foot soldiers come to you with information, you decide what you publish from what you don't publish. There are some things, and his words, not mine, because me never have nothing to do with them kind of something. I've never dealt with no government procurement, no. Get some contracts from government, yes, but just as an individual, right? So he's saying, and I agree with him, because there are people who, up to today, I was on Daniel's live, and somebody brought up the argument about $3 trillion unaccounted for, and we all know that some of these people who come and talk, they're not so bright. So the same gentleman today, I think he was Footer, used unaccounted for. And then he was missing. And even the person that came out from Jump, as them call it, a year before the election, stated that afterwards, unaccounted for does not necessarily mean missing. When you come out to some ignorant Jamaicans and you use a term like that, funds are unaccounted for, what do they hear? What they heard was Andrew thief the money. And that them hear. That is what they hear. And everything that sounds like there's anything, they just make up their own opinion and stating like they're facts. So how unaccounted for, and when I asked the gentleman today, I said, sir, that $3 trillion that you're talking about is unaccounted for. What time period? And he had his defense to back him up, to say, oh, he said a period of years. And I'm saying, because here what happened, and it's just the truth. Everything that is wrong with Jamaica right now, people are pretending, and let me say the right thing, because Kerry would not allow me to just say people. PNP and comrades talk as if everything that is wrong with Jamaica right now started in February of 2016. Which is the first time, or the first election for the 3-term, right? And I remember asking the one Shaka Fame when he was on Styles FM that all these places that are here and raided at PNP demanding that water reach and electricity reach and better road and all of these things, did this started out since 2016? And him say yes at 2016, and then his rebuttal was, you asked me full question, me I gotta give you a full answer. And there are people, even today, earlier before I started this official live, I was on with the Empress and with Scrub. Scrub's big up herself. I like your energy. Scrub came in and she was like, listen, I gotta push out your thing to the For You page, and more people come in, and she was telling her followers, make sure they go over and follow me too. So I appreciate that, Scrub, 100%. Right? And Scrub and Empress was expressing to me that, listen, the last election was the first time I've ever gotten so interested in the governance of Jamaica and in politics. And they just want to know, they want to hear, they want to learn. And of course, a PNP operative came and derailed the whole thing, because I was explaining to Scrub why there's a division, and it's coming from way back. We know that Peter Phillips have always wanted to be a prime minister, right? Always want to be the president of the party. And after Manley, PJ got it, and PMP is a slogan party. So they say it was black man time now for PJ. And after, when PJ was stepping down, there was a runoff between Portia. Was there? I don't remember. But Portia ended up getting it. But Peter Phillips had wanted it from then. And this man came up accusing me of lying. And when I'm explaining what I'm saying, then he's like, no, him no want to hear about none of that. We're now in 2026. So again, that is a method that they use. They don't want you to educate people, but they're willing to talk. He was asking questions like, oh, so who is in the JLP that want the leader? And I'm like, bro, oh, we're there. September 3rd just gone the other day. Andrew Holness won a third term. And he's in the first year of his third term. So where tell me about who won the part? That not nothing to do with it. What we're accustomed to, and I end up seeing that video just before coming on, where Dr. Peter Phillips tendered his resignation a day after the election. So that would be that was September 3rd, 2020. Right? September 3rd was the election. He lost the JLP 149 seats. They end up holding on only to the 14 garrison, well, the 13 garrison where them have +1, which they almost lost that as well. And he tendered his resignation. So they're PNP themselves saying, Bridget, so what's so different? Why is it that Mark Golden lost the election? No, they come and spin it. We heard Mark with this talking point, which I hear PNP with, and this is one of the reasons why I don't have a lot of respect for Mark Golden. I respect the office because we're supposed to respect authority. He is the leader of the opposition. But I've heard people like Ashaka Fame saying some bollocks, as Simon Kraskill call it, and then after a couple months or weeks, me hear Mark Golden with the same argument. I don't know. When we're supposed to be building and have resilient building to outstand or withstand a category 5 hurricane, Mark went to my parish and was offering to build 500 houses for low coming. Why never say, make me build some Tapanaris house in the swamp? And I heard somebody try to justify that today again, to say, no, that is vision. So tell me something. Would you want you or your mother or your pitney them go live in a one swamp land? You know it was a swamp land. What are the what kind of survey or testing was done to say that swamp land could be turned into something else? We don't know. But I realize there are some people who they're still, let me not go there. If you're just joining me, let me say good evening and thanks for joining me. My name is Damian Phillips. You can look me up on our social. I'm live on Vibes Corner Radio every Monday night at 9 o'clock where we discuss politics. I'm also live on my TikTok channel. I'm live on, where else? My YouTube channel. And I'm still asking people to go over and support my page. All right? So, this procurement thing now. So, you're telling me we should allow... Big up yourself. Thanks for rolling in. We should allow the PNP to be talking about communication took 6 months. And we saw the plan of the PNP. No? Remember when the minister went to Parliament and announced that they came out of a meeting with an agreement to lend, now use a nice word like them, but loan, because some people don't know what loan I mean, to lend JPS 150 million US. Because JPS was saying if they don't get no assistance, it's not going to be before June, July for electricity to be restored in the most affected areas, right? And the minister said, nope, not having it. What can we do to speed up the process? JPS say if we get 150 mil, and we heard them saying it was a lie. And the last time I checked, when you're in opposition, you don't get to sit in these meetings. So how the minister come to us, but I realize, and this man Colin, he did it to me early on my own life. When they don't want you to talk, they continue talking and they have a bag of question and they talk over you. And they create, I experienced this morning, they create their own, Daniel Live I was on, yep. They create their own straw men and they try to tear it down. That is a trait of the propaganda, the PNP propaganda machine. So they will even, you're in a conversation and they say, no, you can't say that, Kazar. And what is it that they're saying that you can't say? Something that them say. You never say it. So the PNP was telling us that it's lie the government telling us that JPS say they want 150 million and that will help. No, that can't be. They need more money and thing and no. Mark words were, we should not lend JPS the 150 million until we know where the balance of the money come from. And it's the same thing Danville Walker was saying. So, and I have said it, Mark would have preferred that the work stall because him want here where the rest of JPS, which is mostly a private owned company, Jamaica just have 19 point something % shares in it, right? He would have preferred that, but I'm going to repeat it because PNP don't like to hear the truth. In fact, what they wanted was for the misery index to rise right after the hurricane, because that just burned them. They wanted the misery index to climb. They want more people to be able to say the government is a wicked because after I keep on saying the election, after the hurricane, they have not done anything for them. That was the plan. That was the aim. But the minister was ahead of the JPS because we all know what the JPS wanted was for us to extend their contract. That is what they wanted. And the minister is saying it's not even here nor there because if they don't get a renewal to the contract, because it's not, they wanted an extension. And we know that is 2 years. What is 1 year now left for them to renew it? If they don't get back the contract, we still will be upping our shares in JPS, which is a good thing. Because remember, the last big sale was done by DP, the man. Good night, blessing. Good night to you too. Right? So if you're just rolling in, I'm just touching a little bit of the, what time is it? 20 minutes. So I was touching a bit of the procurement. So 40 minutes of that. So let's go because I feel like I'm not going overtime tonight. My two supporters, them when I normally roll in, I send them invite and I not see them. So let's update my YouTube family and my Vibes Corner Radio family of the latest on the what should have been the murder trial commencing last Monday. So in form of updates, so last week Monday, the office of the prosecutor, the DPP office, I was about to say the office of the prosecutor, the DPP office got a change of plea from the defense. In this case, we're talking about Jolan Silvera. Originally or initially, he had pleaded not guilty to murder/manslaughter and the use of a firearm to commit a felony. So the last time we were here, I told you that that was it. So the next step was supposed to be the DPP office decide if they're going to accept the deal, the plea or not. Right. So that to I think it was Wednesday morning early. It was reported that the DPP accepted the plea. So it is not guilty to murder, but guilty to manslaughter, and not guilty to the use of the firearm to commit murder, but to commit manslaughter. Right. So that is a guilty. Right. So now I was on a live today and I heard somebody brought up somebody and then said the source what that somebody was getting it from. People, listen, careful who you listen to and who you choose to run with them argument, because there is somebody that I've been told that I'm not supposed to do it, but I'm going to do it. There is somebody that the first time I heard this person, based on just their demeanor and how they were carrying on, I knew that there was some kind of mental illness somewhere, somehow. And I was disappointed. Even one of my friend who is a professional, that she sent me the link and said, listen to this. Him know him I say, because this is what I find out, You see, when somebody hates somebody, no matter who, all of them are the enemy with that person. If that person come to them and talking something bad about the person where them hate, them run with it like it's a gospel. Run with it like it's a gospel. As long as it is belittling the person with them now all of a sudden alike. Zin? So, I was introduced to that individual. He was saying a bunch of crap about the Prime Minister and his wife. So the person, which is a professional, shared it with me and saying, listen to that brother, your man, you know him attack, say man, a true a fuck. And that's the next thing I realized. Why is it so easy for people to believe a lie, which I have one of them to cite here? I heard that there was a Cuban tanker that was refused LPG. That refused LPG in Jamaica, right? And see, again, you can't help dunce. So maybe I should just read the article. But the point I was making is I heard it, that them say Jamaica refused to sell the Cuban tanker. And nobody questioned what was behind it. Why I can't open the Gleaner page? I opened it early and read the story. Anyways, go and read it for yourself, because now it's telling me that it's not coming up. Go and read it for yourself. Because we import LPG for usage in Jamaica. We don't export LPG, meaning we don't sell it. Right? But I realize it is so easy for people to hear a lie and run with the lie. So I see this brother and I have to comment on this page. Because Gleaner is reporting that government refutes report that Jamaica turn away Cuban LPG tanker. And in the comment section, I saw this man talking about why the government don't show us the books and proof of who they're saying. And I'm like, say if you just read the article, you wouldn't look so stupid, you wouldn't look so dumb. But there is something in media, and I should say social media, that people just hear a lie and them say, no man, I saw you go. Not even a Google search. And I said countless times, as simple last week, somebody say, I see them say on Facebook, how can Mr. Silvera plead guilty to manslaughter? Where is the car? And sometimes I'm wondering if these people are just trolling. So them just chat any... Oops, I was about to say. I'm not only on TikTok. They're about to say, they say anything and people run with it. And I'm saying we need to go back to the days when people chat foolishness. We call them out and tell them straight up it's foolishness matter. Like the other day. But these things aren't nice and sexy and cute. So I was on a live show And a triple X stated that the message from a member of parliament to a councillor saying that he dreamt that he was effing the L. Well, both of them was effing the L out of each other. Triple X say that wasn't sexual harassment. And I'm saying, again, a simple Google search can tell you what is sexual harassment. But I was taken aback today because I had some respect for a one Hugh Blair. But it was totally eroded today because he stated that, and sorry, we're all over the place, but we're coming back to Silvera. Blair stated that Mr. Dwayne Vaz did nothing wrong. And that is normal because as men, we dream about women all the time. And he was trying to take a swipe of somebody that was on the panel and saying he don't know if that person as a male dream about man. And he went on to say he has 6 baby mothers, which I'm like, okay, that says a lot. Now you're going to leave me to speculate because I believe that men who don't believe that there's such a thing as sexual harassment and sexual assault, these men go ahead to grape. And I have to say grape, but remove the G. For those of you listening, I'm on TikTok. You have to code up words, I was told. Right? If you don't see nothing wrong with that, and if you don't know what SH is, that was just that is not looking at woman. That is you trying to create an opening. So when I tell a woman that, you know what, which is so happen that because I've never done it. But all of the women them when me tell say my dream say we are do whatever, they were interested in the dream. And even when me share the dream, they're interested in, you know, I don't know if I should go beyond that. That's my personal business. But OHSH, sexual harassment, is interpreted is if you say something to somebody and it makes them feel a kind of way. SH don't originate with the abuser. It's the victim. So to be unalive and hear big grown men say the member of parliament telling the councillor say him dream say them a F the whatever out of the two of them. And men are supporting that and defending it. It makes me wonder. So anyway, let's go back to the Silvera because I'm updating you guys. So at this stage, so after the DPP was supposed to accept or deny, they did accept it. And that created a firestorm on social media and in media in general because there are people who are saying the DPP should have never accepted it. And then they even say the Chief Justice, Brian Sykes, should not accept it either. In the report from the DPP is a Martin Luther King. I had a dream. I can't tell them though. Most of the time, though, I tell them, man, say me I'm the dream, I lie, me I tell. So, I mean, I think me a Martin Luther this, so, yeah. I tell them, man, say me dream, I lie, me I tell. It's just like an opening. But anyways, so, the DPP stated that they have evidence of what happened before, after, whatever, but they could not prove that Jolan Silvera in the act at the time that has now plead guilty to, the DPP could not prove that it was murder. Nothing is wrong with Triple X borrowing the crab legs either. Yo, me like when you see the Triple X say we're doing involved, so nothing wrong with it. That is not really SH sexual harassment. So one of my viewer here now is saying nothing is wrong with Triple X borrowing the it landed him a mugshot though. Yeah. So there are people that I realize, and this was the problem. So my TikTok people, they're hearing this again because I think that was at first I was on a same topic for one whole week. From last week Monday I was on the Silvera case, spoke about it ad nauseum, but it was a bit to help people. So there are Jamaicans that do not know that it's not all killing is a murder, and that is why it's okay for, I shouldn't say okay, that is why the defense could have utilized that to their defense to plead manslaughter. And I hear people say manslaughter. You can't spell it out on YouTube, man. YouTube naga flag it. I hear people say manslaughter a full charge. No, listen, people, go and do your research. People, use AI to your advantage. Use the internet to your advantage. I want everybody that associate with me sound bright. Just type in what is manslaughter. They will explain. And the worst, I think this is the first, some Jamaicans are hearing the term or the defense mounting to say, I was provoked. Google it, look it up. What is provocation? And even by words, because I hear people saying, oh, nobody can tell me nothing. Big man, that the Bible itself tell her that a woman's strength is our mouth. No, I don't want to put me in the barrel like triple X because I don't think there will be space. That's one. But two, don't blink me to say I am defending the killer. And I'm yet to hear somebody tell me, say, no, call him a killer, because that's what he is. He has confessed. But back to something I was saying about this mental health issue. I saw a video which this young man is saying that Sylvia should have never let anybody force him to plead guilty to anything because he did not do it. So I end up asking Scrub this morning, would you plead guilty to something that you did not do? Make it make sense. But there are people repeating this to say, Sylvia, I didn't do it. So here what me I ask you. Inbox me and tell me who unalive Melissa Silvera, please. Because if the only person that the state brought before the court who will be sentenced on the 6th of March, a month from now, pleaded guilty, why should I believe somebody who mentioned that them check themselves into Ward 21? Why should I believe him? So I think it says a lot about you. If you're going to repeat as fact something that come from somebody that they themselves had made it known, and I do not. Don't bad enough things say I am bashing people who have issues mentally. That's not what I'm doing, because it's a real thing, right? It's a real thing. And I believe that these people who have their conditions, they need help and the love and the support. I believe that. But I realize that social media now has amplified, lack of a better expression, madness. So I am sure if I was doing some madness right now on this live, whole heap of people or more people would be here and sharing the live and tapping the screen for TikTok and sending money guns and universe and lions and beer and roses and all of these things. And yeah, me know. Because there is this appetite for entertainment. So I can understand if you don't watch these people just to be entertained. But when you're going to come to a platform and repeat the rubbish that these people are putting forward, why I don't hear them repeat that the man say Mark Golden is a jelly, come like some jellyback fish. Him not have no backbone. Why these people don't repeat that? I them something enough to repeat. So where are we right now? So we know that Joel and Severa pleaded guilty to manslaughter, both just manslaughter itself and the use of a gun. So I hear people saying that the what them say manslaughter charge, a full charge and all of that. Listen, people, like I'm saying again, do a simple research. Although, big up yourself, Vassal, although there is no minimum sentence for manslaughter, it is possible for you to get life imprisonment. So now me know the pushback, because I've been dealing with it. It's going to be no, there's something called precedence where nobody has gotten life imprisonment for manslaughter in Jamaica. That have never happened. Right? So okay, thing it go off a precedent. This because we. However, Vassal pointed out that when you use, was it Vassal or somebody else? Don't hold me on that. But how this thing go? Oh no, he did say there's something called sentencing guideline. So every judge have that book that they read and it guide them. So judges have the latitude to use their discretion, but it goes with certain condition. So I don't remember exactly what Vasa said. I don't have the tape to play now. But he was saying the fact that a gun was used, then the minimum have to start at 7 years. Right? My opinion is I think Justice Sykes is going to the word mere people I use, which me don't subscribe to, make this an example case, because there are women now who are saying, me not comfortable with this, that my man, my husband can unalive me and then just go and claim provocation. Madam Speaker Munshi keep on saying, listen, fear mouth light. And she love, draw out man and say something and all of that, and it no fear. But like I say again, go and look it up. Manslaughter is a thing, and provocation is in there. Even with words, insulting words can cause provocation. And I also believe that there's an element of psychology to it where your state of mind. So I've heard people say, I would never ever do this. Because you have the time to sit down and think about it, yes or no. There are people who find themselves in situation that, I don't know what goes on in their brains, because I'm not a psychologist, that cause them to do things. Now, I have converted two people. Dougie, big up yourself. And Kimmy, big up yourself. Because Dougie actually admitted that, listen, boss, I was wrong and strong. And, saying the DPP shouldn't and whatever. And then, I'm here some other materials and him look into it. And he had publicly apologized and say, thanks for what I was doing. Friday evening, Kimmy, was it Friday or Saturday, Kimmy? One of them, Kimmy, say, you know what? We need to just accept it, because the DPP don't accept it, and the Chief Justice. Because this man could have pleaded insanity, which I don't know if this is usable in Jamaica, but I've heard about it in America, where there are persons who have claimed, I think some unaliving of parents, who have claimed a minute to 10, not going over tonight, so nobody not try call or send a request for admit to TikTok. I mean, I'm gonna use me. Every night, me day here from 9 o'clock and thing, and then now when the show off it done, for me go eat my dinner or whatever else more and do, people call it. No, I'm not taking a phone call. I'm not add nobody to my box. So I've heard of cases in America where children have unalived their parents and claim temporary insanity. It is a thing. It is a thing. A lot of people are mad about the manslaughter because he is essentially blaming her for her unaliving. Also, it is unlikely that he will get life. I don't believe him about the provocation. All right. So thanks for that, V. So Vassal was saying one of the reasons why somebody may opt for pleading guilty to manslaughter is because it does not carry a minimum sentence, right? It does not. But murder comes with a minimum 15, right? It comes with a minimum 15. So it's like using the system, playing the system, make it work for you. But again, it seems as if this is the first case that a defense lawyer is working for his client. Why they make it seem like that? So again, and me know some people tell me, say, don't repeat it. But something that I realized, Valentine, is that there are people who they're seeking political blood. Right? That is what they're seeking, political blood. If you ask me, and one of my friends was saying they don't consider this as justice, and I think maybe that's what I read a while ago, to say that he's blaming, irregardless of, and this is why the DPP accepted it, because there is no eyewitness, there is no surveillance camera, there's nothing that proved that this man was planning to unalive his wife. There's nothing that proved that at the moment there was intent or malice. So what we know, what are the facts? Joel Silvera unalive his wife with a gun. We know that. We know that, know that, know that. The last thing I want to say on this before I go, there are people still to today is blaming the police officer, as the DPP stated it, the first responder, and saying it's his fault why this and that and whatever because he did not secure the crime scene and and all of that. And I'm saying that officer, he did not get a shooting call to say somebody got shot and come and respond to this. As far as I'm concerned, the cover-up started long before they're reporting it. So this is my opinion now I'm sharing. When that officer got on the scene, things were already put in place to start the cover-up. And Nationwide have reported that Mark Golden, the leader of the opposition, did post on his Facebook page saying condolences to the family and stated something again to the tune of "she passed peacefully in her sleep." So all of us who have been following this case know that there was an unaliving and we know that there was an attempt to cover it up. So it was the police officer that took a photo, and I hear this one excellence having a problem with the police saying he shouldn't have used his private phone to take no photograph. Again, this is making one of them look bad. I've asked a police this. Is anything wrong with a policeman go to a scene and something tell him, say, yo, take a picture, and him take the picture? DP, seriously? Had the DPP took the case to trial and lost, would you be disappointed with the DPP? All right. So thanks for that question. And that is what I hear people say, oh, me really admire. I've heard persons say they would prefer the DPP had taken the case to trial, so ignore or do not accept the manslaughter, take the case to trial, full-blown trial, and lost. They would feel better. They would feel like the DPP had fought for Melissa. So let me read this again. DP, seriously? Had the DPP took case to trial and lost, would you be disappointed with the DPP? Yes. Because knowing what we know now, the accused admitted to committing the offense. We know that. So if the DPP, and again, because people are not au fait with how these things work, it's not all the time a trial, we have to have a full-blown trial. When we have a full-blown trial is when the accused maintain their innocence, which based on our law setup, everybody except Andrew Owens, based on the PMP them, is innocent until proven guilty. The sons heard them quarreling, but didn't hear or see the tussle and the gunshot. That is a question. These are some of the questions them that I have to. But again, when somebody plead guilty to something, they have to give you a statement, basically listing out how it go. Again, we can't just go off what was said. I hear somebody say on their own live that they think that the boys were lying. I am not at liberty to say that because I don't think we heard from the boys. I think we heard from what the accused, no, the admitted killer stated, right? So I don't even want to drill down into what was said in the statement. All I'm saying is, and the reason I brought it up, is the DPP stated that the office of the DPP could not prove had it gone to trial, and if it was a jury trial, that they could prove to the jury/judge that, listen, this man had an intent. You hear them talk about mens rea and all of them something. Yes, all of that come in. And again, it is against the backdrop, and I'm not a lawyer, I should have said that from the beginning. It's against the backdrop that there are people, and I hear Emily Shields said this, there are people who from them hear about the case, them don't pronounce judgment and say, Sylvia murder and wife. So you can't tell them people ain't nothing. Now care what them hear or not hear, they already made up their mind. But I'm saying, go and look it up. You don't have to take my word for it. It's not all unaliving as TikTok would want me to say it or state it as. It's not all unaliving is murder. The boy said he left after. No. You keep on saying the boy said. So let me ask you this, V. Who did the boy said stayed home with them? And we know in the story that we heard, I'm saying it is a story, the report, it said that the boys found their mother laying next to the bed in a pool of blood. However, further on in the statement, it is said that when the police took the photograph, Melissa was in a chair, slumped over, face way. So again, me no want to go into all of that because to me that is irrelevant. Where we are right now is the murder accused has admitted guilt to manslaughter. So I don't think Justice Sykes is going to do a slap on the wrist like I hear some people saying, because that is going to, and I learned this from the former DPP, that is going to shock the conscience of the public. And again, this is why I think it's a win-win for the DPP. You don't always have to get a conviction from a full-blown trial. If you can get somebody, and it is in our laws, the laws have made provision where you can change your plea even in a trial. The trial could commence and going, and in the trial, you decide, say, you know what, me don't want to waste the court time no more, and just plead guilty. And there is some deduction that you will get, some percentage off. Something again, misinformation. There are people who are saying that the fact that Joel and Silvera pleaded or admit guilt, is going to get 50% discount. Rubbish, not no go so. I think the percentage start at 33.5. So the earliest dates, 33.5. And then I think you go down to 20 or 25 and 15. I don't remember now. That was what released in the. So the boys, guys, I have it. I gotta read it again. The boys said that they hear a quarrel. I think they just stated that there was a quarrel. It was because again, V, this is why it's not matching up. Because it wasn't the boys that said there was a quarrel and then he unalived Melissa and then he left. The boys didn't say not such thing. Anyways, that's that. Not going any further. So let me say thank you very much for being here. A win for the DPP, but is that a win for justice? Is it a win for women? So let me ask you the question, Valentina. Would it be a win for justice if this had gone to a full-blown trial? And this is what I predicted, although it now goes so none of we now gonna know. I believe wholeheartedly that if this case had gone to a full-blown trial, that man would have walked free on some form of technicality. More so, it wasn't a jury trial, it would have been a judge only. I believe Joel and Silvera would have walked out of court at the end of the trial a free man. And nobody could call him a killer after that. Else you would be setting up yourself for a suit. That is my honest opinion. So I can't see how them said dead man or woman tell no tale. The DPP has gotten the accused, the sole accused, to admit unaliving her. But just because it's not the term uno want to hear, which is murder, because at the end of the day, I don't care what Joel and say, you know, there's still, like I said it, there are people from the get-go said that he murdered his wife. So because that is not being said in court and he's not on trial for murder, people are saying that the justice system has failed. I disagree. And again, one case, you know, you're using my friend Valentina to say it's not justice for women. There is somebody that has gone missing. And we heard that a Noel Maitland will be getting a sentence for that. We don't know. We just have to go based on circumstantial evidence that the DPP had, that Noel unalived his girlfriend. The difference with this is Noel did not plead Nothing apart from not guilty. So it went to a full-blown trial. This man decided that I'm not wasting the court time. I'm going to admit it. So the argument to say because he's not going on trial for murder, then it's not justice for women and the justice system failed. I can't subscribe to that line of arguments. I'm sorry. I can't. So the next step to this, or the next phase, is sentencing on March 6th. We look forward to that to see what the sentencing is going to be like. And I say, if you think say it not, it's not justified, a slap at the wrist. The DPP again, this is what I was, you see me really I lose. This is what I was getting at. Did you know that if it had gone to trial and the man was found guilty, he could appeal the case? And we have seen it. A very famous man went all the way up to the Privy Council after spending 13 years in prison. And now he's a free man. Not one of them. It was, 4 or 5, right? Now this man is not in that position. He cannot take nothing to the Privy Council or whatever. Again, in case you don't know, if the sentencing shock the conscience of the public, the DPP can appeal the sentencing. And the former DPP have succeeded in doing so. I think it was this young man that unalived his cousin and her children, and Paula Lulin thought that the sentence was too low, and she appealed it, and of course, he got a higher sentencing. So, we will not get what we want, and that is what I'm going to close it by saying. Justice is not what we want. And I'm being very generous to my friend Valentina because where's Simone? Simone and V, them always come every night and support me on YouTube. But there are other people who may actually tell some harsh words and use some phrase that offend them. But we are not lawyers. The DPP has been doing this. She's a career prosecutor. So why we should stay on the sideline and accuse these professionals from carrying out their job? Why? I don't. But again, remember, everybody's entitled to their opinion. On that note, my name is Damien Phillips. Just in case you didn't know, they call me DP. I'm live here every Monday night at 9 o'clock and I'm live on Vibes Corner Radio. I'm live on my YouTube channel. I'm live on TikTok. But my TikTok people, them I don't know. I don't even deny me feel for burn another fire. I shall be joining you guys. So until then, if you can be good, please be careful. And don't unalive nobody. And women, you not gonna like this, but don't provoke no husband. Yeah?
DP stands for Damien Phillips. All who never knew get with it. So if you see a girl's phone and it's my name DP, don't feel no way, or just the habit. Politics, politics, it doesn't matter, me I go talk. Bringing light to the lost so you will get it. DP is my name, please don't spoil it. Big up Portland, St. Thomas, Jamaica and America. Come listen my show. On the corner me I bring, come chat. Voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. Views expressed, you know the rest. Come chat with DP. Call me Damien Phillips. Yeah. So if you see your girl's phone and it's my name DP, don't feel no way, or just the habit. Politics, politics, it doesn't matter, me I go talk. Bringing light to the lost so you will get it. DP is my name, please don't spoil it. Big up Portland, St. Thomas, Jamaica and America. Come listen my show. On the corner me I bring, come chat. Voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. Yeah, views expressed, You know the rest. Come chat with DP. Call me Damian Phillips. Yeah. Come listen my show. On the economy I bring, come chat, voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. VP is my name, please don't spoil it. Big up Portland, St. Thomas, Jamaica and America. Come listen my show. On the economy I bring, come chat, voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. Just know it's a general knowledge. Views expressed, you know the rest. Come chat with DP. Call me Damian Phillips. Whoa, ooh yeah, Phillips. Call me Damian Phillips. Yeah. Yeah, DP stands for Damian Phillips. All who never knew get with it. So if you see your girl's phone and it's my name DP, don't feel no way, adjust the habit.